Good looking now, G.
Everybody have to tell you that it makes you beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody have to tell you that God makes you beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey there, excuse me, miss. No disrespect, you're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and God's to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit the game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. I love a fairy.
Welcome to The Hype, a show that focuses on issues that affect young women. This show is an extension of the Philadelphia Mele Project, which is a healthy lifestyles workshop for Black girls ages 14 to 18. Our workshops focus on healthy relationships, personal communication, gender and ethnic pride, and HIV prevention education. We'll have more info about our workshops at the end of our program. I am your host, Jessica. It's one of the most talked about topics in the African American community. Hair. Long hair, short hair, natural, not natural, weaves and no weaves. You name it, we've talked about it. The whole good hair versus bad hair debate has gone far beyond the African American community to the national and global spectrum. With so much emphasis on Black women's hair, we decided to do an episode on it titled, What's Hair Got to Do with It? But before we give our opinion on Black women's hair, we're going to take it to the streets and see what they have to say.
I think hair is important for Black women because it describes who we are and how we feel at certain times of the day.
I think hair is a big issue for Black women just because of the times that they had to with slavery and how they had to embrace themselves and how they had to make up things to deal with the time and other things that went on with them in the past.
They want to look cute and pretty for they men and the other girlfriends. They want to make sure they look cute and attractive to other people, and that's a big thing for Black women because don't really have the good texture hair like white girls or other different races have, so they have to you buy weave so they can look beautiful.
Well, I would say because your confidence as a Black woman, a lot of times your confidence is wrapped up in your hair, your esteem, the way you feel on any given day. It kind of just stems from your hair and how you feel about your hair. So if you wake up one day and your hair's looking crazy or whatever, you don't feel like yourself, or when it's not done, when a Black woman gets her hair done, she's feeling good, she's feeling confident about herself because she knows that when she's going out into the world, she's presenting herself like this is who I am, and she feels good about herself, and when people receive her, it's just it feels good.
And I think hair is a big issue for them because it's something that makes them feel really good about themselves. Like their clothes, how women in general just take care in the stuff that they wear and how they wear their hair. I mean, it's just if you have something that makes you feel good about yourself, and then of course you want it to look good all the time. So.
Because society today they think you have to have slick hair or curly hair to look beautiful, but they don't really think natural is beautiful anymore.
Well, I mean, because I feel like now we live in a society where everything is so superficial and whatnot. Now I feel like a lot of people are trying to stray away from the norm of being superficial and trying to take it back to the roots of being natural.
Well, I don't see the difference, but some people say that wearing natural hair is better because it shows your individuality. But if you wear weave like I do, even if it's unnatural, it really doesn't matter. It just shows what you like and what you don't like. Some people don't like how they look in the mirror based on their own texture of their hair, and adding extra length is just what you like to do.
Great comments, everyone. So, ladies, what is it about our hair that creates such a divide?
Well, I really think that it goes back to the true image of beauty and what people think is beautiful. So a lot of times you hear, you know, it's beautiful to have long hair and for it to be straight. So that's kind of one of the things that we've fed off of for years. But we have to realize as African American women, we have so many different options. We have options to wear our hair natural. We have options to press our hair out and wear it straight. You know, like you said in the beginning. So I think that it's really up to what we classify as beautiful, and just knowing that our hair doesn't dictate if we're beautiful or not. It's the way that we carry ourselves. And if you're comfortable and you feel beautiful wearing your hair natural, or you feel beautiful wearing your hair long, that's okay. But just know that hair doesn't make you. And I think that's one thing that we have to really realize.
Yeah, like, you know, if you have a person with natural hair and a person with relaxed hair, they both are trying to prove their point that, you know, they're right. And I think that's where the divide comes in, because you'll have somebody who's natural and they'll be like, well, you know, your hair, why are you doing that with your hair? You should keep it natural because that's you. You're beautiful, you're this, you're that. And then the relaxed person will be like, well, I don't hate myself for getting it relaxed. That's just the preference that I have. Now, you know, those both are very good points. But the only thing I have with it is that I don't think it's, you know, what you do, it's why you do it. Right. So if you feel like getting your hair relaxed, you do it because you think that's what's going to make you beautiful, and anything other than that is not beautiful, that's a problem. Right. If you get your hair relaxed, and that's really just a preference for you, and you know that, you know your roots, and you know who you are, why you do it, and you're not doing it because you think that this is what your boyfriend wants you to do, this is what your mama wants you to do, or what whoever wants you to do it, that's perfectly fine. But I think it's all about educating yourself and knowing, you know, the benefits of choosing whichever way you want to go. So I really think that's kind of what it is.
I also think it has a lot to do with the European look. It's we kind of look at that like it's supreme. Like, you know, straight hair, long hair is supreme, you know. And I think it has to do a lot with the light skin, dark skin thing too. Like, you know, the more European you look, the more accepted you are. So I think that divide comes in. So people who have shorter hair or kinkier hair are not really, like, it's not really accepted. And I think even among African American females, it brings up a big debate. It brings up a big separation.
You know, you don't even have to, you can actually find yourself on both sides of the party. Like, if I wash my hair look just like yours. Yes. And I press it out, and then it look just like Jessica's, and I throw some tracks in, and it's so much easier too, because I don't have to wait 6 weeks to get some braids because it might pull my hair out. So I think that's one thing about natural hair, is that it's so diverse. You can have it kinky, you can have it straight, you can do so many different things with it. Right. And it is a little healthier. You know, like, it's fine to definitely have relaxed hair because like I said, when I was younger, my hair was exactly like yours, and it hurt. I used to get up and run every time my mom came back home because I'm so tender-headed and my hair was so thick. So, you know, if you choose to get a relaxer, that's perfectly fine, but don't think that you have to get a relaxer, like Jessica said, like, in order to be beautiful, because that's not the case.
I mean, I don't know if it's only me or other people, but if you are on either side, you feel like you have to tiptoe around the person on the other side. Like, say if I was sitting with somebody who was like all the way natural, and I was just like, oh, you know, my hair this, like, I'd be like a little hesitant because I don't want them to attack me, like, oh, this and this that. But people don't even know, like, I'm transitioning myself from relaxed to natural, and that's only my personal preference, just because, you know, I had this class called the Black Women in College where we were talking about different things, and one of the things we were talking about is aesthetics and why, you know, we black women have felt the need to straighten our hair and whatever it is. And she was totally right. She was saying, you have to look at why you're doing it. And I had to look into myself and just be like, you know, why am I getting a relaxer? It's I'm like a slave to my hair, like, because I had to watch when it rains and watch when it's this and watch when it's that, and I just wanted to let it go.
I think that's really true, because even like, I'm okay, relax, however you want to do your hair, do your hair. But when it just gets to the point where I've known a lot of females where relaxers are just unhealthy for them. Like, their hair are just breaking. Like, they won't. You're supposed to get a perm, like, a relaxer every 6 weeks or something. 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. People are getting like every 3 weeks because, like, it becomes like an addiction. Like, it's like, okay, if
no,
you
it
relax,
is an addiction.
It's fine, but not every 3 weeks. As soon as like a little root comes up, like, it's like, oh, I gotta get a relaxer.
Yeah. So so how do you think that, like, we are influenced by the way we style our hair by other people?
Well, I think just people comments towards us. I remember when I was in college and I was working at a certain security company, which I'm not going to say the name. My supervisor came up to me because I'm completely like 100% natural, but sometimes I do wear my hair like this, or I'll have braids or whatever. So I went to work and my hair was like Vanessa's, and they were like, "Oh my God, you normally have your hair done so nice. What happened?" And I was
like hurt. Like first it pissed me off, and then I was like, okay, let me gather my feelings. But I really felt some type of way because this is the way our hair is when we wash it. Our hair is not naturally straight. We're African American. Our hair is naturally kinky and curly. So if this is the way that I choose to wear my hair, why should you judge me because my hair isn't straight today? So I think a lot of times, and after that I did start pressing my hair out because it really hurt my feelings, and I didn't like those comments. And even when I go to work now, you know, they're like, oh, you got your hair kinky today, or why didn't you press it out, or you do hair, why didn't you do your own hair? Like those
like
types of comments,
as if natural equates to
not
right. style.
Right.
Yes.
And I had my little mascara on and all that stuff, and my face is pretty, but because my hair is kinky, it's not done.
It's funny you should say that because I actually have a friend who, you know, over Easter break, she went home and, you know, she got her hair, she has natural hair, she got her hair straightened before she went home, and I was like, you know, your hair looks real good curly, why did you get it straightened? And she was like, well, you know, my parents don't think my hair is styled unless I get it straightened. And I was just like, that's crazy, because I just want a big afro. Like, do you understand? Like, that to me is just beautiful. But I have to admit that it took me a while to even get to that point, because I was at a certain point in my life where I felt if your hair was long and lustrous and straight, that is what the epitome of beauty is. But that's just because that's what we see. That's what we see in our neighborhood, what we see in our churches, what we see on TV. It's just what we see. So, like I said, you just gotta really educate yourself on it.
I think for me, like with people's perceptions, when I went natural, I didn't wait. I just big chopped.
You just big chopped.
I wish I
had the courage.
I just said, I was in my room one night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had some scissors, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I did it, and then like I liked the way I look initially. Like I was just like, okay, I like this. But my parents were like, no, this is not okay. Would not even, like, they saw me, they wouldn't even look at me. They just were like, Vanessa, what are you doing right now? So it was really funny, like, and through that whole process, the first maybe month or two, like, everybody was getting really used to seeing me. I actually just went natural like last June, so everybody was getting used to seeing me with my natural hair, and it was difficult at first just because you kind of can hide behind weaves sometimes, or hide behind your hair sometimes, and it just was like everything was exposed. It just was like, this is me, this is what it is, and not knowing how to do your natural hair, and people looking at you like, what's going on? So I definitely will say, like, it was a growing process. It was a great growing process. Like, I'm really happy that I did it.
I can't wait to get to that point. I just can't wait.
I did big chop when I was in 10th grade, but I was in 10th grade also, and we had this girl that went to our school, and she always wore a big afro. Her hair was really soft and curly, but they would tease her. So I learned from her to just cover it up with weave, because my hair was like really, really short, and I didn't want to get those comments, even though I felt as though natural hair was beautiful. I was still in 10th grade, and you know, I just wasn't going to go through, you know, the teasing and things. But you know, that was definitely a courageous move to do the big chop. But it looks great.
I think the one thing that we all have in common, as we're saying, is that it's really about loving yourself and knowing, you know, what you're doing with your hair, and knowing why you're doing it for is it for you? Is it for someone else? Is it for society? So it's really important just to really embrace who you are and love what comes out of your hair, bottom line. Okay. All right, let's get a check on fashion and beauty with Vanessa, who went to Duafe to show us different hairstyles for the natural lady on the go.
Hello, I'm Vanessa, and we're here at Duafe's Holistic Hair Care, where we'll be speaking with owner Syreeta Scott about tips for styling natural hair for ladies on the go. Okay, so how long have you been natural?
I've been natural since about 2004.
And what made you decide to go natural?
Getting perms and things like that, wasn't doing it for my hair. It was really dry, and just wasn't working for me and my lifestyle.
Okay, so here's a question. A lot of natural females leave their hair kinky, but I see you straighten yours, so it looks nice. Just got it done.
Great, yeah.
Do you feel that you get any type of angst towards the females who have kinky hair, who keep their hair kinky when you straighten yours? Like, do they ever like look at you like, oh, you have a relaxer, or is there any kind of issue?
No, people kind of see my hair and assume that I have a relaxer, and then I tell them no, it's just straightened, it's just pressed. So they're like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
So how did you start doing natural hair?
Well, started from doing my own hair. I recently cut my locks about 2-3 years ago now. I had, that was my 4th set. I had those for 4 years, or 14 years rather. And an opportunity availed itself to work here at Duafe, so I've been here for 10 years now.
Okay, and you do male and female hair?
Male and female.
So how do females react when they come to get their hair done and they see you?
For the most part, they get very excited. Most of them say, you know, they've never had a man in their head before, so they get excited about that. And then they also get excited because I'm a straight man, so they get excited about that as well. You know what I mean? Big up to the straight hairstylists out there, straight up.
Okay, so how long have you been natural?
13 years now.
13 years. And when did you decide to go natural?
I started about 15 years, but I went back to a relaxer, and then I decided to go back.
So how was that time when you went back to a relaxer? What made you go back?
I went back because I was doing hair that wasn't natural at the time. I was doing chemicals. So I felt at that time that I needed to be like everybody else to get clients. But I found that when I went back natural, that the clients started to come that were natural.
Oh, okay. Makes a lot of sense. Do you think hair is important?
Hair is very, 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 very.
And why do you think?
Because it's our crown and glory. It's a part of a woman or a man that looks good and makes us feel good. So.
Hi, Syreeta. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about Duafe.
Duafe has been established since 2001. And it's a natural hair care studio. We do everything but perms. So that means press and curl to braids, from braids to lock extensions, from lock extensions to traditional locks. And Duafe is a Dinka symbol, which is from Ghana. And the symbol is of a wooden comb, which means female consideration, prudence, love, and care, a female who keeps good upkeep of her hair.
So since we're talking about good upkeep of your hair, what are some tips that you would give natural ladies to add to their weekly regimen?
Weekly regimen, I think what's most important is knowing how to properly comb your hair. You think it's very simple, but oftentimes when you've been separated from your natural hair, it's hard to maneuver with it.
Yes.
So what's really key is when you're shampooing, one, always dilute your shampoos, because even if it says it doesn't have a lot of detergents, it really do. So half and half. Secondly, once you put the conditioner in, keep it in for a moment. You can feel free and add olive oil to it just to give it a little bit more moisture. But combing, starting from tip to root. And you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you want to section off your hair to make sure that you're not just trying to comb from, you know, from your all the way back. So you just want to make sure you're sectioning it off, conditioner, and comb through it, tip to root.
Okay, when you
wide tooth comb.
Wide tooth comb. When you say dilute shampoo, you just mean add a little bit of water to the shampoo.
Add a little bit of water to it.
Okay, so what are some styles, natural hairstyles, to prevent breakage? Because I know tips are really important. You want to protect your tips. What are some hairstyles that help prevent breakage?
Best hairstyles is two-strand twists, palm rolls, flat two-strand twists, and cornrows.
Okay, so now what are the best products to help keep your hair moisturized?
Okay. You can put so many products. Of course, Duafe, we have our own line of products. But what's really most important is your diet. And most people, they opt to just wanting to put the Carol's Daughter, the Duafe products, the Miss Jessie's. We can name them all day long. But it's not what you do to the exterior. It's what you're doing for the interior. So you want to make sure that you're drinking water. That's 8 glasses of water.
Okay.
You know, you want to make sure you're eating some in and out foods, because you'll find that certain things you eat can make not just your hair dry, but also your skin.
Okay. All right, so we have a lot of females who may be in the middle, who may be transitioning their hair. What tips do you have for them? I know a lot of transitioning females who will not cut the relaxed portion of their hair off. So what tips do you have for styling natural hair, moisturizing natural hair, or just dealing with it, the two types?
Okay. Well, especially transitioning is difficult because you're just not dealing with the hair, you're dealing with somebody's emotions. Because you'll find that a lot of women, they don't want to cut off their hair. So let's talk some transitional style. Two-strand twist really works. There's some women, especially in the summertime, if you're active and you want to exercise and get your body back the way you know you feel like you need for it to be, you want to make sure that you're getting braids, sometimes weaves. It depends upon which lace front weaves are a big no-no. They may look beautiful, but oftentimes you see a lot of damage because of it. But braids, weaves, two-strand twists, individual braids. You can do so many things with your natural hair that, you know, so many natural options.
Okay, and just in closing, what do you think are some of the benefits of being natural?
Well, for me, I lived my life, because, you know, I wasn't always natural. I've been natural now for, I would say, 17 years. Okay. But for me, what I realized when I wasn't natural, I was living my life for my hair. That means if I went out dancing, that means if I wanted to exercise, that means if I thought too hard, I was in front of the mirror, pressing and curling my hair, trying to alter it away from its natural state. So I found myself chasing. And that's my personal story. So with me wanting to live my life the way I want, like I love to dance, I love to be active, I love to live life. For me, natural hair was the only way for me to go.
Some good points. But I do have one more question. You spoke about being active. I know a lot of females, when we go to the gym, we may not want to run as hard just because we sweat in our scalp and our hair might kink up or whatever. Do you have any tips for that?
Well, your best bet, I can't tip you on how to have straight hair because I want to make sure that we're having an extremely open forum in this conversation. But I will tell you that if you feel like you've gotten to that point where every hairstyle you choose does not help or make your life any easier, you may have to think about other options. Now, things that we can do. Oftentimes I see women, and it's been successful with them pin curling their hair. Okay. So if you're pin curling your hair while your hair is pressed straight, permed, what have you, it will at least allow for your hair to look halfway decent. Okay. But I will tell you, there is no
way around it.
There's no way around it. You have to either wear braids if you know you're going to be in the gym at least 2 to 3 times out of the week, or my best suggestion will be braids. And can I please just say, with braids, I do see often our sisters creating a hairline with braids. Okay. That means the braids, micros, or even some regular extensions, they are braided so close together that it has created a hairline. Okay. That is the worst thing that you can do, because what you'll find is when your hair starts to grow in and the weight from the braids, because the extension, whether it be synthetic or human, you'll find that it still is weight. That's where the breakage comes. Okay. So when you're getting your hair braided in terms of traditional style, make sure that you have it properly spaced so you're not creating a hairline, so you can have a hairline.
Thank you, Syreeta. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
It was a pleasure talking with you.
Now, back to you.
Hey, what's going on? It's Miss Tiff here with your Hype News update. So all throughout the program, we've been talking about the big deal about hair and women, especially African American women. But one of the things we talk about and stress in Syleé is gender and ethnic pride, whether your hair is natural or altered in some way. Let me rewind. Now, Syleé is a monthly healthy lifestyles workshop that we do for Black teen girls ages 14 to 18. Syleé is an acronym, actually, and it stands for Sisters Informing, Healing, Living, and Empowering. And during our workshops, we talk a lot about why we should be proud to be who we are and the gender that we are. And throughout this program, we've been talking about some of the issues around our hair, texture, color, length, what we add, what we take away. And yes, that is an issue for some in the community. But what's more important than that is to acknowledge not only our hair and how it makes us feel beautiful no matter how we style it, but the culture and the rich culture we come from. So today in Hype News, I want to highlight one particular group that really shines a light on our African dance culture. One of my favorite African dance groups in the city is the Kulu Mele African Dance and Drum Ensemble. Now, I saw them perform a while ago. They did a performance called Sacred Journeys, and that can best be described as a celebration of faith in the human spirit. Kulu Mele focuses on traditional and sacred dances from West Africa, as well as Afro-Cuban sacred dances. So right now, I just want to highlight some of the performance that they did months ago called Sacred Journeys. It was held at the Painted Bride Arts Center, and this will just give you a little insight into the rich culture that we come from. That's Kulu Mele, and they never disappoint. So if you love culture and you love African dance, you're absolutely going to love this weekend. It's the 37th annual Odunde Festival on South Street. It's amazing. If you've never been, you gotta go this year. So make sure you check it out. Look for more information at the bottom of the screen. I'm Miss Tiff with your Hype News Update.
Before we leave, we're going to talk about lifestyles and relationships. So it's one thing if the outside world is in a divide as to how black women should wear their hair, but it's a totally different thing if you and your partner are in total disagreements as to how you should wear your hair. Now I know you may be thinking it's not a big deal if your partner doesn't agree with your hairstyles, but believe it or not, it could really say a lot about how he feels about you. Because you know, as women, our hair is really a part of who we are. So if he doesn't like it, he's kind of saying he doesn't really like you. But because think about it. If you feel very confident about the way your hair is, but you have somebody who's downplaying it and saying, you know, I think you should do your hair this way, or I think you should do your hair that way, it can kind of lower your self-esteem as to how you feel about yourself. So if you're in a relationship where your partner is telling you you should do your hair another way, but you feel very confident in the way your hair is, you two should have a sit down and talk about it, because real love doesn't care about aesthetics. It cares about what's best for you. Thank you all for joining us today for The Hype. We'll see you next time.
Good looking now, G.
Everybody, have to tell you that it makes you beautiful. Beautiful.
So beautiful.
God makes you beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey there, excuse me, miss. No disrespect, you're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and God's to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. A love affair without a kiss. All the diamonds in the world could never hold your value. You're a precious pearl, so as anybody. What's up, beautiful? Look at your style, beautiful smile, beautiful essence. You a beautiful child. I mean, a grown woman, you grown woman. You in the wrong zone, but it's on when he make you his own.